Alright everyone, so we have another episode of the roster review series today. This time it is going to be for VanWhy. And we are currently at 290 days played, roughly around 3.5 million TCP. Now this is with just over $2,000 approximately, so do take this with a bit of a grain of salt with this roster review, and we'll be focusing on do more potential characters and Dark Dimension 3. So that's going to be the focus of today's roster review and what was requested. So I'll be keeping those characters in mind as we go through. So as usual, we'll be starting off from the bottom of the roster. I just always find that a bit easier, and actually it looks like some of this is cut off here. So on the surface, this is actually a pretty decent arena team, I'm pretty sure, and I think this is cut off on the side, Carnage there. But this is, I think, a pretty common mid-game arena setup. I think it does pretty well, and actually, frankly, late game, I heard that this combo with Doc Ock can actually beat Black Order, which I haven't actually tried myself, but that's what I understand can happen. So yeah, it's actually pretty reasonable just to carry on grinding up the symbiotes because they're really good anyways. But anyways, let's start here at the bottom of the roster. Let's zoom in a touch here. There we go. So, who isn't unlocked? So we got Doc Ock, still not unlocked yet. Ebony Moss 7 Res Star, holy crap. Now, I don't know if that was just a natural pull. If so, then congratulations to you. Unfortunately, he's not unlocked, but, you know, that's great. So whenever you do get there, and he is one of the best legendaries in the game right now, that's, yeah, kudos to you. That's really amazing. I kind of wish I had a pull like that. We do have a 5 Red Star Nick Fury, not so important that much anymore. And Phoenix and Invisible Woman still not unlocked. So I do want to point out, and you probably are aware of this a little bit yourself, so Black Order is an important trait team for Do More Chapter 2-9, specifically to farm Proxima Midnight, which is kind of funny because it requires Black Order. So you probably won't get through that without Ebony Maw. I think he's a really key member for that Do More 2-7 to 2-9, so do keep that in mind. And Invisible Woman, I would really try and get her unlocked because she is really important for Do More Chapter 1, 1-7 to 1-9, which is the Negasonic farm node, which is really important, and they come back around in Do More Chapter 3 as well for the Graviton section. So yeah, Invisible Woman is going to be quite key for campaigns, specifically for Do More. I haven't actually been able to do it without her, and you know, whether or not you can or not, that you might have to grind up other characters a lot higher. So I would look at getting your Sinister 6 online, and hopefully you can get Invisible Woman unlocked on the next pass. Now, scrolling up through the roster a little bit here, let's see, what do we have? 5 Red Yelena, that's a nice pull too. 5 Red Night Nurse, and I heard one day, I heard in the city patch maybe she might be, I heard that patch 5.1 might be including a possible city rework, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So, like I was talking about in Invisible Woman, there is a Fantastic Four lane for Do More Chapter 1 and Chapter 3, so you might need to grind up some of your Fantastic Four as well, including Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, and Thing. Those are the 4 Fantastic Four, but those are the easiest ways to clear through some of those nodes. Obviously, Corvus Glaive is going to be maybe not an early game like a consideration for where you are currently, but something that you're going to want to consider as well. Longshot, you know, X Factor isn't really that prominent right now. You do have 5 Red Shatterstar, and Shatterstar and Longshot might be something you want to think about, mostly because of what they might do for you later on. And by the time that you get to that point, and possibly for Dark Dimension 3, I heard that in Dark Dimension 3 Cosmic, this is actually a possible consideration of the duo if you're not using anything like Black Order members. Now, your Longshot's only 3-star, but you're quite close to 4-star, activating that 4th red, and Shatterstar's 5 red, 5 yellow, so it's quite impressive there. So I would definitely consider this aspect. Possibly you could use the 2 of them in Dark Dimension 3 Cosmic. That's definitely a possibility here. Now, scrolling up, we do have a Cull Obsidian sitting at 3, but almost 4-star. Again, part of that Black Order team. Proxima also sitting at 4, yellow, 4 red. Again, not really that big of a deal right now until you get Ebony Maw, which will be really important to Do More Chapter 2. But definitely you're going to want to start bringing them up at some point because they are one of the best team, basically the best team in the game at this point competitively. And yeah, you're going to want to bring them up. So whenever you decide to do that, that's something that you're going to want to consider. So yeah, don't leave it too long, otherwise it'll be a bit tougher later on as you go. Otherwise, none of these characters here really are all that meta. But you definitely have a couple of meta characters here. And actually, I do want to point out War Machine. Now, the reason why I want to do that is because power armor is important for Chapter 3. This is the Taskmaster. I know that's going to be quite far down the line, but power armor is really important for Do More Chapter 3.7 to 3.9, which is the Taskmaster section. Very important there. And hero tech characters, sorry, not hero tech characters, power armor specifically can be used for Do More Chapter 2.7 to 2.9 as well. So Falcon, which I haven't seen yet, must be somewhere up further, is someone that you can use for that. So War Machine and Ironheart might be a consideration down the line for Do More Chapter 3. So let's move on to the second page here. Scroll to the bottom. So we do see a... Oh, wait. Wait a minute. Is this a repeat of the... Oh, the screenshot's a bit... Well, I'm confused now. Okay, sorry. There's different characters on different pages. Were these updated? No, I'm confused. Okay, looks like there's some new characters at the top here. My bad. And nothing really all that important here to look at, though. I don't think there's anyone too missing up here, though. Making sure that that's accurate. Okay, let's move on to the next one, I guess. So this looks like a... This looks like a brand new screenshot, so we'll start here at the bottom. Ghost, definitely a character that you're going to want to bring up for Dark Dimension 3, so make sure that you get on that whenever possible. If Dark Dimension 3 is something that you're focusing on right now, Ghost is super important for Dark Dimension 3 Global. You're also at 4 yellow, 4 red. This is a perfect sort of starting ground here for Dark Dimension 3, and she is going to be farmable in the War Store as well if you want to get more credits for more shards for her with War credits. Inhumans is something you're... So for Do More Chapter 1, at the start, Inhumans is something that you're going to want to consider. Now, I noticed that you don't have Black Bolt not unlocked, so I assume that he's somewhere further up on your roster. So Inhumans are the best way that you can get through Do More Chapter 1.1 to 1.3. Now, this is using all of the hero... And they're all heroes anyways. Maybe in the future there might be some villains. But Black Bolt, Quake... Crystal, and those three at the bare minimum, probably Yo-Yo as well, will really help, and then you can supplement with another hero mutant, someone that you might have at higher level. But you're going to want to use the Inhumans to get through Chapter 1.1 to 1.3, and those are important there. And now moving on from that, of course, is Hero Mystics. That's going to be another one I want to point out once we get around to that. So characters like Thor, Heimdall, Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, these are all characters that you can use for that 1.4 to 1.6 segment. And then Fantastic Four is a big important component for that 1.7 to 1.9. So I just wanted to point out some of those Do More Chapter 1 characters, which will probably come across here. So again, Quake and Yo-Yo and Crystal is up here. You're going to want to invest into those. Rescue might be a consideration possibly for Do More Chapter 2.7 to 2.9, although that's much later on. Scrolling up, any major red stars? 5 red Yo-Yo. Unfortunately, she's so hard to farm because she's, you know, in that Premium Orb exclusive, unfortunately, alongside Cull Obsidian. So I noticed that you have Thing leveled up a little bit, but you don't have the other Fantastic Four, so this is a bit curious. I don't know why you have Thing up necessarily, but you don't have any of the other Fantastic Four members upgraded. Shuri here. So Shuri is someone that you're probably going to want to consider bringing up a little bit more to about tier 12 at some point. Possibly a character that you can also bring into Dark Dimension 3 Global, but probably not all that necessary anymore now that we have Ghost available to us. But you don't have Phoenix. Phoenix is a very powerful member of that Dark Dimension 3 Global team, and really just for the first 8 nodes, so you might need to supplement with other characters until you can get Phoenix unlocked. She will be coming back around again pretty soon, I think, actually, as of the recording of this video, although if you're watching this down the line, possibly her event may have already come. For other people watching out there. Anyways, 5 red raw. Yeah, none of these Falcon, very important character actually, part of the power armor team, but more generally he's quite useful in campaigns and things like that. So I would definitely bring him up a little bit more alongside the rest of the power armor, who will be quite important for Do More Chapter 3, like I mentioned. So do keep that in mind in the back of your head. And let's move on to the final page here. We have some Brotherhood characters that are quite highly leveled, some X-Force, it looks like. Now, for the Do More Chapter 1 to 1.3, you can use Inhumans or Hero Mutants. Now, that also does cover X-Force type characters, however, it is still quite a challenging section, so Cable might be useful because he can actually turn Rewind with his special, and Clear Now with his rework, and has some barriers functions. Characters like Deadpool and stuff like that might not really make a huge difference in that section, and really, realistically, Black Bolt and the Inhumans are the best bet, but you could supplement 1 or 2 characters of Hero Mutants. Doctor Strange, also going to be really important, like those Hero Mystics that I mentioned. So any of them here, Hero Mystics here, Doctor Strange. Some of the other ones I mentioned, Thor and Heimdall, might be a bit further up. I don't know, I haven't, or did I pass Heimdall? I don't know. Let's see, Ultron, Negasonic, X-23. So you might be able to use X-23 actually in chapters do more 1-1 to 1-3, because she does have some passive regeneration, so that might help you a little bit as well. Do see some Marauders now. Starting off for you, and Thor's up here actually as well. So Mr. Sinister, another good character that you're going to want to bring up for Dark Dimension 3. So if we want it, and Black Bolt's here. So things are looking good as we go up to the top. Now, I do want to point out that in terms of Dark Dimension 3 progress, there's a lot of staple characters. So starting at the beginning for Global, you know, there's staple characters like Emma Frost, Phoenix, which you don't have unfortunately, Ghost is another one, Mr. Sinister. Those are sort of some of the main staple characters that you're going to want to bring into Dark Dimension 3 Global. And now in terms of the Cosmic, you do have Minerva at tier 14, so that's a very solid one. Thanos is another common one. Ebony Maw is another really common one. Proxima Midnight, who is also possible to take into Dark Dimension 3 Cosmic. Hela, another popular pick, but of course, Hela is very gear hungry in terms of Dark Dimension 3, so do keep that in mind. She takes 5 sets of minis, where Thanos takes 3, Ebony Maw takes 4, although you don't have Ebony Maw yet, but hopefully you will soon at some point. And then for Dark Dimension 3 City, you have Symbiote Spider-Man, which you're working on. Scream and Carnage, both good picks. I would prefer, or I would recommend getting Carnage though before Scream, Symbiote Spider-Man, then second Carnage, and then third either Anti-Venom or regular Venom. That's entirely up to you. Both of them can work. Scream is kind of an after pick, so really she should be your last person that you gear up to 14. Looks like you have a 7 red Thor, so that should actually help you in your Doom War chapter 1-4 to 1-6, because those are Hero Mystics. Thor will work really well there, and I don't know where... Oh, your Heimdall's here. So the Thor and Heimdall together, and I would say Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch personally would get you through that pretty easily, and that will get you on your way to Doom War 1-7 to 1-9. 1-7 to 1-9 is actually quite a challenging stretch, and I think you really are going to need Invisible Woman for that, unfortunately, which you don't have yet. So I would work on getting that. Hopefully you'll be getting Ebony Maw pretty soon as well, but other than that, it looks like you do have quite a few good characters up at tier 13 and working your way on. So just make sure you don't spread yourself too thin on gear, because it's very easy to sort of forget about what you need for your orange gear, and you can start taking up these characters to tier 13 and then not have the gear resources that you need to take other ones up to 14. So just keep in mind what you're planning, and those characters that I mentioned for Dark Dimension 3, you got a lot of the staple ones here. I wouldn't recommend gearing Captain Marvel up any further. I wouldn't recommend Loki up any further either. I don't think he needs to be up there, and you don't necessarily need to take Sif up to 14 for Cosmic. That's something people did a long time ago, but I don't think that's something you really need to consider now. So yeah, make sure that I would rather take Thanos up there as a tank alongside Hela, and then you have Minerva, and then you just really need like one other. You could take Thor, you know, because you have 7 red. He might not contribute a ton, but damage-wise he should. Just I don't know about his survivability, that's all, because you need more debuffing. But yeah, it might work. If you want to go for an Asgardian team because you have a 7 red Thor, that's entirely up to you. But yeah, otherwise I think that your roster's actually looking pretty good. Just work on getting some of those characters from the first page that you don't have. So Invisible Woman and Ebony Maw and Phoenix, these are really important members that you're going to want to unlock, because that'll really help you for Dark Dimension 3 and beyond. And some of these characters do have at the bottom, so the Black Order you're going to want to consider at some point. You know, maybe keep an eye on Longshot and Shatterstar as the months go on as well. And those are probably the most important, and some of your power armor as well. That's probably the most important things that you're going to want to consider for Doom War anyways, and of course the greater meta for Black Order moving forward, especially once you finish Dark Dimension 3. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the roster review for today, and thanks for everyone for watching, of course. And if you're interested in your own little roster review, feel free to get in touch with me via Discord. That's the best way to get a hold of me. You can find my Discord information, both my channel and my personal Discord, in the description of all of my videos and on the front of my channel as well. So until next time, guys, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Boylon signing out.